Dear supporters, you know who you are and where you come from. Local, passionate, undeniably Canadian. You are the soul, heartbeat, substance, community. This is for you with gratitude. Made in Canada for all the world to see. Season 7 is here. So go forth, grow your ranks, and get stuck in.
The biggest moments in Canadian soccer stream on One Soccer. Men's and women's national teams, TELUS Canadian Championships, Canadian Premier League. The biggest stage, the fiercest battles. Plus, get pre- and post-match analysis and all the highlights anytime. Because wherever you go, One Soccer goes with you. One Soccer, the home of Canadian soccer. Start streaming at onesoccer.ca. For too long, we've been told that greatness comes from somewhere else. Sorry, that ends now. We are the Canadian Premier League, proudly built for you and by you across this sovereign land, ready to take on the beautiful game on our terms. We may be young, but give us time and underestimate us at your peril. We'll keep grinding until everyone knows exactly who we are. Rosters filled with homegrowns, Canadian kids who just needed a chance, with dreams as vast as our horizons, made right here in Canada, for all the world to see. Season 7 is here. We are the Canadian Premier League. Get stuck in.
Sorry now, I'm good.
Think back to when Canada was a soccer country without its own league, without a place to develop and showcase our own players, or a space where fans could sing their songs and hold their scarves high and show their true colors in their own hometowns. Getting the Canadian Premier League off the ground had to happen for Canada to co-host the 2026 World Cup. But the time was right for the sport and for the country. What's happened since is proof. 8 Canadian teams with passionate supporters playing the world's game and punching far above their weight. There have been a few bumps along the way, including a global pandemic on the eve of the second season. But while some larger sports organizations shut down entirely in the face of COVID, the CPL found a way to play on with the innovative Island Games. When the world got back to normal, CPL supporters returned to the stands, and wave upon wave of young Canadian players began to make their mark. Despite its short history and modest origins, the CPL was not to be underestimated. Consider some recent history. Last year, 2 CPL teams beat MLS teams. The huge disparity in payroll didn't matter when it came to what happened on the pitch. And then, in the first months of 2025, reigning CPL champs Cavalry FC made history, beating Pumas, one of the traditional Big Four in Mexico's Liga MX, in the CONCACAF Champions League. Those were remarkable team achievements that were mirrored on the player side, where CPL alumni have been steadily moving up the international ranks. There's Brampton's Kwesi Poku, who last season went from Forge FC to Belgium's RWD Molenbeek for a CPL record transfer fee, and soon after became the latest present or former CPL player to be capped with Canada's men's national team. And then there's brilliant young keeper Emil Gazdov, who joined Pacific FC as a 16-year-old and this year signed with CF Montreal of MLS and joined their first team. There will be more, many more, where they came from. Canadian talent nurtured right here at home. And now, Season 7 is set to kick off, with the World Cup a little more than a year away. It couldn't be more clear. This is our country. This is our game. And this is our league.
"13 matches played, 5 wins, 4 draws, 4 losses, 19 points in total. You can't get much closer than this. 7th place taking on 8th place. It's Vaughan versus St. Catharines Roma. Welcome to Rinaldi Field. My name is Noah Vogel for this edition of the League One Premier Match of the Week. The last meeting between these two teams was a 4-1 win for Vaughan at home. St. Catharines going to look for revenge tonight. If either team is able to take all 3 points here this evening, they would move themselves into 5th place, with the losers staying in 8th. If they were to share the point, they would each move up a spot to overtake Oakville. So tight in the middle of the pack of this League One Premier table. Taking a look at the starting lineups for tonight, starting with St. Catharines Roma. In goal, starting his 14th match of the season, hasn't missed a minute. Lucas Bernstingel in between the goal mounds. Ethan Miskolski, Konrad Czarnecki, the two in the middle. They have not missed a match so far this season. Elijah Wanless and Jeremy Talsma finish out the back four. In the midfield, Gianluca Del Priore, who has scored 3 goals in his last 3 games, scoring twice in the draw against Sigma FC. Nikas Andriola, the captain, makes his 12th appearance here today. And Idilia Shefketi starts for the 5th time in a row since joining the club. Jared Aguming, Diego Rivera, and Ronaldo Homensky make up the front 3, with Homensky making his appearance back in the starting lineup after coming off the bench in 3 of his last 4 matches. Now taking a look at Vaughan. Grant Wiles gets the start in goal. Has only started 2 matches so far this season. Hasn't lost a game. Hasn't conceded a goal. Alejandro Portal and Jacob Begley, as well as Divraj Sandhu, the defenders. Daniel Longo, Raheem Rose, and Marco Shortino make up the midfield. Adamo Pantaleo, Chris Campoli, Nick Spittle, and leading the lines, Ryan Robinson. 9 goals this season, but hasn't scored in his last 3 matches. However, he did score twice in the reverse fixture between these two. A beautiful evening here at Rinaldi Field in St. Catharines, Ontario, as we get set to kick off here in a match that could make or break either of these teams' season and keep them from the safe zone. With Sigma FC sitting in 9th place, currently only 1 point back of both of these sides, and with the ability to jump all the way into 5th place and only be 3 points behind Alliance United, who had just lost to Vaughan 2 weeks ago in that 3-0 victory for the away side. Things would certainly heat up near the end of this League One Premier season. Miskolski to clear and move Roma up forward. Agumeng battling for it on the far side. Jared Agumeng is dispossessed here as Portal back in his final third. And Vaughan able to move it now out of the Rowan end, and they'll look to switch. Portal. Here's Jacob Begley. Divraj Sandhu, the Laurier University player. He's making his 3rd start here tonight. He's only featured in 4 matches so far this season. Robinson. Captaining Vaughan against here tonight. He's been such a key part offensively for their success this season, and a misjudge that time by Czarnecki, but he was covered by his teammate in Miskolski, who will clear the danger. Quickly thrown in. And Czarnecki is going to concede a corner, and Vaughan will get a first opportunity here from a set piece. Only a minute and a half into this match. Roy Robinson to stand over it. Campoli there for short as a help, and they will go to Campoli. He'll now deliver in across. Near the front post, cleared by Wantless, but not as far as Lago will have a go. And it was always wide of the goal that time. Big crowd here tonight at Rinaldi Field. A very high anticipated match coming in this week. Here's Elijah Wantless. It'll stay a Roma throw. Looking forward for Del Priore, who knocks it down for Rivera. Challenge came in. Aguimen had a touch, but now it's at the feet of Alejandro Portal, who will calmly play back to his defensive pairing. And Begley has it now. Sandu. Shortino. Shortino getting his second start of the season. He scored in that win, that big win over Alliance United for Vaughan in the 3-0 victory. Robinson trying to take on Homensky, back on defensive duties, and he's won the ball here. Homensky playing in a deeper lying role on that wing side, but more as a right wing back with Jeremy Talsba on the far side across from him. Homensky able to win the throw. Czarnecki. Now at the feet of Wantless. Wantless looking forward over top for Aguimen to chase. He's beaten to it by Begley and cleared away by Vaughan. Campoli got up, and Czarnecki sent that ball out of orbit. Roma believed it last came off of on player, and it will be Roma throw, and Talsbo will look to take quickly. Long throw towards the corner, but too far for Rivera to chase after. Vaughan over the past few years have been such a powerhouse in this League One men's Premier Division, and seeing them in the 7th place and only on 19 points, they are 2 points back of that top half of the table, but so are St. Catharines Roma in their first season back in League One Premier. But the Wayside is coming off of 3 very strong performances, including their League One Cup match against Burlington, which they took to keep themselves in the running for that trophy this season. But again, that huge win over Alliance United that allowed Woodbridge to overtake the top of the table for them this season. However, Vaughan just hasn't had quite the results they would have wanted in League One regular season play. Offside was the call on Robinson. And a misplay here by Bernstingle, and Shortino might have had a chance with the goalkeeper out of his net, but he couldn't really collect that ball in the final third, but it is cleared out for a Vaughan throw. Cleared away by Talsma. Battle here where Vera picked up by Del Priore. He's challenged. Gone down, but nothing seen by Mahmoud Golistani, but he calls the foul on Rivera, who caught Robinson late. And Roma, well aware of the Ryan Robinson effect, the captain, the Hamilton, Ontario native. Now a chance for Vaughan to deliver in the box is cleared by Andriola. It came off the head referee. So it'll stay Roma possession. But as I mentioned, Robinson hasn't missed a game so far this season, has started all 14 matches, has been kept off the score sheet, which is unlike him in these last 3 games. Aguimen has a go, and that one always veering wide, but leading League One Premier in goals, 9 this season. Had his spell at the Halifax Wanderers at the CPL, and just this past season joined York United, or York University, pardon me, in the OUA. It had a very, very strong season where York was able to come away with a lot of silverware that past year. That misplay from Rose on the far side, and Shevketi will leave the throw for Homensky. Massive start from both of these sides in the first 7.5 minutes to begin this match. Miskolski got a push from behind, and it's going to be a dead ball free kick opportunity, and Roma will send Del Priore to stand over this one. Shevketi will take instead. He'll look to the back post. Miskolski went up, but it was cleared away by Longo. Robinson tried to turn, but dispossessed that time by Andriola. Here he is now. Veering out on the left wing side, looking cross towards Agyemang. It was too far away from him. And calmly out of the back comes Sandu as he finds his teammate in Spitall. Shevketi went down, Tausma thrown in a challenge, and the play continues on. Shevketi looking for Rivera, and he was taken down. After making the run in behind, it looked like Diego Rivera may have gotten on the inside of Divraj Sandu, but was taken down in his path. Goal card coming, but another free kick opportunity from the opposite side now for Roma. Shevketi, short to the front post, Agyemang first to it. Spittle through it, a challenge, Agyemang rebounds! What an opportunity for Roma to take the lead early on, and Rivera has come up empty. A gift inside the 6-yard box for a player on 6 goals so far this season and doesn't miss those very often. And he just got under it that time. Forward from Vaughan and taken away by Konrad Czarnecki, and back to Bernstengel, who will clear his lines. Antilio down the line, and Campoli will flick over for Shortino to chase, but Czarnecki just able to keep his foot down and win the challenge, and Bernstengel, not trying to risk anything, will clear and give up the throw-in on the near side. Hortal was trying to go back to Spittle, but it was well read by Rivera, and he couldn't quite keep his feet to keep that one in play. On will reset now, back with Begley. And DeLeo. And that ball not intended to go out of bounds, but did so. Adamo Pantaleo, the Maple, Ontario native, plays during the fall at UMBC, just finished his sophomore season. Hasn't started since June 22nd against Sigma, but he had his number called here tonight. Czarnecki. Now with one less, looking Long for Rivera. He'll flick over, and Del Priore will help it on. Rivera chasing and well defended that time as Sandu clears, but only as far as Andriola. And here he is off to the races, to the byline, cross to the back post, Homensky! And again, another chance for Roma, point blank, and Homensky couldn't keep it down. A peach of a ball to the back post from the captain. And Homensky not able to gobble it up and take the chance. Antalio being run down by Del Priore. Portal. Pantaleo forward. Del Priore with the block. And the pressure here now from the home side is able to win back possession for them. All the chances have gone St. Catharines' way so far. Into the head of Rivera, who flicks on. Del Priore will chase. He's knocked over, and nothing saw by the head referee as he goes tumbling down. It will be a Vaughan goal kick. Portal on the turn. Finds the feet of Rose. A challenge in from Homensky. And Rose loses possession now. Miskolski trying to clear it off of Rose. Homensky couldn't keep it in. It will be a Vaughan throw. Alejandro Portal. Campoli. Rose to cross to the edge of the 18. Andriola clears. Touch from Pantaleo lets him down that time. Aguimen able to take back possession. Ball into play and quickly thrown down the line for Homensky. Into the feet of Rivera. Options either side. He switches over now. Here's Talsma. Jeremy Talsma. Back to Shefketi. Aguimen in an outside position. Got by Rose, went down. And Rose will calmly come out of his own end and clear up to the halfway line. Czarnecki heads down for Miskolski, who plays down the line. Portal in a battle with Gianluca Del Priore. Del Priore goes down, and now Campoli and Shortino taking down. It's a foul going Vaughan's way. Shortino looking to play quickly here. Longo. Portal, now Rose. Vaughan looking to control the pace after being broken open a couple of times so far in this first 15 minutes as we near in on the first quarter of an hour. Portal playing forward, cut out by Czarnecki. Shefketi looking quickly in transition. And it was well read that time by Jacob Begley, who couldn't quite keep it in. Roma again looking to play quickly to the head of Aguimen, and it was well defended that time. And into the hands of Grant Wiles. Spittle with space now. Turns back, here's Longo. Begley now finds Portal. Rose able to skip by Shefketi, but he just got enough of the ball to steer him off course and out of bounds. Miskolski and Czarnecki, no doubt as he clears that one away. Knotted down by Rivera, and a misplay there from Del Priore. Longo with space on the turn. Robinson deep from his lines to collect. Spittle. Longo has continued his run here, but the pass had gone out of play for a Roma throw. Aguimen had a push in the back from Sandu. And the head referee letting the Thornhill, Ontario native center back know that that was his second offense here, and next could be a yellow. Czarnecki, Shevketi. Muskowski to the feet of Rivera. Couldn't control, but now Del Priore in a pocket of space is able to pick up that loose ball. Begley comes across and will clear out. Diego Rivera. Rose comes in to help out with Pantaleo, and Rivera able to win the throw. Rivera to the far post. Begley clears away. And the foul as Ekiming was a little late on the challenge. Jacob Begley sitting at 6'5", alongside the Vrashandu at 6'3". A very strong aerial presence those two have inside their own penalty area. Shevketi able to dispossess Campoli that time. He's found the feet of Rivera. Rivera with space to cut inside, and the block comes in from Longo. And Andriola goes down, the push from behind from Campoli. And again, Roma ushering forward to load in the box here as Shevketi stands over the free kick. Came up a little short on his last attempt. Wanless also having a look at this dead ball opportunity, and he will take towards the back post. Cleared away by Begley. Campoli with tons of space will drop off for Rose. Raheem Rose. Shortino took a slip, and Wanless bounced on, is able to take the ball back for Roma. He finds Rivera. One-on-one here with Sandu, who has to be careful here and nearing in on a yellow after his prior two challenges. Andriola, Shevketi. Wanless with a big switch looking for Ronaldo Homensky. And Pantaleo able to clear. Excellent challenge from Rivera. Knocked over from behind and taken away by Campoli. Rose, neat feet, but was intercepted well by Del Priore that time. On despite being only on 19 points this season, they sit very well in the goal differential, +7 so far this season, which is third best in League One Premier this year, apart from Woodbridge in first place. Diego Rivera switches to the near side, and Talsma unable to keep it in. Shevketi nods on for Talsma, and he finds the feet now of Del Priore. Robinson now with it for Vaughan. Into the middle for Portal. Rose. Slipped into the feet of Shortino. Homensky with it now, and he'll clear. And Begley quick on to it. Portal. Vaughan now with a chance to deliver into the area. Cleared well by Czarnecki. And Homensky will help it on. Begley comes across and keeps it in the danger zone for now. Andriola gives chase, but he's not going to be able to keep it in play. Excellent touch that time by Shortino, Andriola will take it back. It's last touch off of Vaughan player, Roma thought. But it will be a Vaughan throw. Egley. Now Sandu. Excellent ball behind Spittle. Inside the 18, now can deliver to the back post, and Rose tried to knot it down. And it came up and over the crossbar. And another huge miss in this match, but this time for the away side in Vaughan. Roma gets away with one there. Very well worked down the near side to find Nick Spittle in behind. And his ball to the back post was picture perfect to find his opposite in Raheem Rose, who just couldn't find the goal. 3 so far this season for Raheem Rose. And a player of his caliber, and you're very surprised to see him miss that. Rivera with a touch. Begley had a slip, and now Rivera is one-on-one here with Sandu. Rivera, slide challenge now in from Divraj Sandu, and he had to be perfect, and he was there defensively. Del Priore able to win it back. Here's Talsma. He'll have a go from distance, and it was always rising. But you can see Roma continuing to be aggressive here in the first part of this match. And you look across the lineup for this Vaughan side and have so many talented players from back in their early 20s. And you look at Raheem Rose, who just missed that opportunity just before, a 3-time All-Canadian in the OUA, an OUA Rookie of the Year. He currently plays for the Canadian futsal team. So a very talented soccer player, as many others a part of this Vaughan side. They just have had unlucky results, especially against teams like Sigma, who they've lost both matches to this season. And losing to North Toronto, 2 strong sides, but have had struggles taking points this season, and is the reason why they're near the bottom half of the League One Premier table. But then have performances where they win 3-0 against a very strong Alliance United team and 4-1 against Roma in the reverse fixture. Just haven't been able to keep that consistency throughout the season. Now here's Agyemang. He's got Talsma with him as well as Rivera. Agyemang trying to go alone, went down inside the area. Del Priore with a challenge. And cleared aside by Pantaleo. Robinson comes back for it and now has plenty of time in the center of the field. Longo. Begley with his back turned will allow his goalkeeper Wiles to clear. Agyemang able to win it away from Longo. Talsma, Shefketi. Jeremy Talsma will go back to Miskolski. And he'll find Czarnecki. Back to Miskolski. Shefketi looking over the top for Hubensky. Didn't have enough on it. Rose now in possession. And a spinning ball just rolls out of play. Into the feet of Rose, and he had a shove from behind by Ronaldo Hubensky. And it's been a different type of season for him. And the way Roma have set up, especially as of late, with him more playing in a defensive wing role where you mostly saw him in the front 3 a lot of last season. Of course, winning the League One Young Player of the Season last year with 12 goals on the season, only 3 so far this year. He started in 9 matches, of the 12. Agyemang! Oh my goodness! Jared Agyemang, out of nothing, was able to take the ball away from Divraj Sandhu and chip Grant Wiles. And Roma has the first goal of the match. And they lead in the 27th minute against Vaughan. After two clear-cut chances were put away, and another from Vaughan that was not taken, Roma finally finds the back of the net, and it's Jared Agyemang with his 5th of the season. Did not play against Sigma. Scored in the win versus North Toronto after not scoring since May 23rd, and he's got one in probably the biggest match of the season for Roma so far. What a way to introduce yourself back into the lineup. Jared Agyemang, the Brock University graduate, has got Roma a 1-0 lead early in this match. And it really came out of nothing. Just a 1v1 battle that Agyemang just had more grit to win. And with the pure touch of that left foot, just able to lob Grant Wiles in goal. And other than the chances missed from Roma, they will gladly take this start here in this match at home. Longo switches to find Portal. He'll glide forward, trying to go in behind for Pantaleo. And he may be able to run onto this. Miskolski had to be sure, and he clears it out, conceding the corner. So a chance from a set piece now for Vaughan to try and respond quickly here. It will be Robinson to in-swing this corner. Robinson to the near post. Burns single out confidently and collects that. Looking for Tausma on the near side, but it was too close to Pantaleo that time. Begley, with Agyemang behind him, will calmly find Nick Spittle. Campole, Longo. Alejandro Portal. Trying to drop it off for Rose, and a miscommunication there. And Chef Ketty looking forward, and Agyemang was not on the same page with him. Portal on the turn. Pantaleo able to touch inside and find Robinson. The switch looking for Spittle. Tausma to be sure, but the offside flag is up. So past the first half hour of this match, it's a 1-0 St. Catharines Roma lead at home on the back of Jared Agyemang, the Brampton native, scoring his 5th of the season. What a big part he's been since joining Roma in his first season with the club this year. Excellent move in the midfield here from Shortino, trying to play at Robinson, and Czarnecki, falling down, was able to clear his lines. Portal couldn't control, will be a Roma throw. Cleared away by Longo. And Temetsky caught on an errant throw that time. It was pretty clear that that was not a proper throw attempt from the Hungarian teenager. Into the feet of Rose. Portal. Tossing back will find Pantaleo. Sendu. Was the one who was defending with Jared Aguilang on the goal that he scored, and you wonder if he was just a little hesitant trying to take him off the ball after his 2 challenges before, where another one could have costed him a card in this match. Campoli. Del Priore lunging in, but can't win it back from the Vaughan number 8. Swings it to the near side for Spittle. Touch away from him. Talisman throws in a challenge. Advantage played here now for Longo. Portal. Campoli. Trying to turn away from Miskolski. Czarnecki able to clear. Longo with it. And Vaughan pushed back all the way into their own half, as already said here with Begley. Robinson comes deep to collect. Spittle. Pressure from Roma is constantly brought Vaughan back to their own half, but they've done well here to keep possession. They've bounced back after conceding the first here, and now Campoli in space. Able to work around Shevketi, and he finds Spittle. Spittle to the path of Robinson. Wantless able to win the challenge, and he'll hoof that one up to half. Begley misplayed his header, and now it's in the feet of Rivera. Del Priore couldn't collect, and Longo was smart slide to keep that away from the path of Aguilang. But now it's with Alejandro Portal and his ball too far away from Chris Campoli. At times, Roma's looked on their heels, but they really have defended well with last-ditch tackles inside their own 18-yard box. Rivera couldn't win the battle against Pantaleo, but it falls back into his feet and searched for Del Priore, but he lost out to Longo. Great ball, and now Raheem Rose may have a chance to find Robinson, but Wantless got back. Del Priore dispossessed once more. Here's Portal. Rose. Longo. On has found possession here in the final third, but they're stopped here momentarily as Robinson will take the throw on the near side. Robinson, great feet to get by Talsma. Towards the front post, and Bernstigel there is able to collect, and Wanless looks to be in some pain here after that challenge on Ryan Robinson. Wanless back to his feet, but still limbering on that near side corner. Both teams getting some time to rehydrate here in a much cooler night than it's been lately, with the massive heat wave that's hit the more southern parts of Ontario. You could overhear Anthony Vidori not too happy with how his side is playing, but they've had a good response to conceding. Coach Vidori was the League Two head coach for a year and a half with Vaughan Soccer Club, and he was the League One assistant coach for 6 years before being moved to the head coaching position and has been a part of Vaughan Soccer Club for nearing in on 10 years. As here's Robinson, able to bounce back from that challenge he took from Wanless only a minute ago. Begley finds Spittle. Nick Spittle driving into the middle. Has found the path of Robinson. Tried to cut it back for Shortino. Longo is able to keep it in and hold possession here. Plays it into space for Portal. Shortino with an excellent touch outside the 18. Brought down by Wanless, and it will be a free kick just outside the 18-yard box. And Wanless got a little bit clumsy there outside his penalty area as he took down Marco Shortino. And what is a prime position here for a free kick opportunity for Vaughan. And you can already see Ryan Robinson with the ball in his hand as he stands over this one. Raheem Rose also in the mix. As Luke prefers a left footer. 5 in the wall for St. Catharines Roma. And you would expect for Robinson to have a go at this. Rose will take right into the hands of Bernstingle. It went around the wall. The St. Catharines Roma, number 1, easily able to save and collect that time. And now Bernstingle will play forward, looking for Agyemang. Came off the foot that time of Talsma, and Agyemang able to strip away from Begley. He'll have a go. Stopped by Wiles and will concede a corner. Agyemang looking for a second, tried to find the near post, but couldn't squeak it by Grant Wiles, who got down to make his real first save of the match. Nearing in on the final 5 minutes to play of the first half here. And a 1-0 lead for the home side in St. Catharines Roma. And Nicholas Andriola will be the one to take this in-swinging corner. Long to the back post. Rose got the touch on it. Begley will help it forward. Del Priore keeps it in play. Miskolski with a back heel, but nobody there for Roma. Wanless knocks down for Andriola. The captain's going at it here on the near side. Ball played into the path of Del Priore and cleared by Begley. This is where you call Jeremy Talsma for a chance for a long throw towards Diego Rivera, but it was cleared by Sandu. Andriola got up and collided with Shortino. Czarnecki will head into the path of Hometsky. Now it's with Jeremy Talsma looking to take on Spittle. Ball to the near post. Begley was there, and he clears up field for another Roma throw. Roma will load in the edge of the 18-yard box again for another Jeremy Talsma long throw. Cleared away that time by Longo. Shefketi and Robinson will clear. Played forward looking for Del Priore, won by Longo and Triola. Continues on, and Robinson will collect. Andriola able to shield away from Ryan Robinson, and he might have played in Diego Rivera. Wiles out of his goal, takes down Rivera, but he got to the ball first, and it was a clean save. Now Longo, Sandu, Begley, Portal, late challenge from Andriola, who slid in on Alejandro Portal. And Babu Gulistani will have a chat with Nicolas Andriola. And just explaining he was a little late there on the challenge on the Cuban international Alejandro Portal. Portal making his 7th start of the season. He played for Simcoe County Rovers last year before joining Vaughan. And made his move to Canada, being born in Cuba, and was featured a part of the Futsal Canadian Championships. A couple of very strong indoor futsal players on this Vaughan side. Something you don't see very often on a League One team, as Shortino had gone down in the challenge from Charnecki. That allowed Lucas Bernstingel to collect with minimal time left here in the first half. And Vaughan looking for a response late here before the halftime break. Bernstingel forward, and Begley got up to clear. Shefketi. Rivera with time to turn, was taken down from Portal. Shefketi able to win it back here. Couldn't get by Pantaleo. Shielding away from Homensky, plays forward Miskolski. Begley into the back of Rivera. Longo plays forward for Robinson. And Wanless will clear out for a Vaughan throw. Play starting to pick up here late in this first half especially. Giampoli turns away from a couple of Roma defenders and finds Portal in space. Pantaleo ahead of him, but railwayed by Homensky. Lost possession now with Pantaleo, when Homensky with a clear push in the back, and now a chance for Vaughan to get their big hitters into the box here. Robinson will be the one to take. Time ticking away as we hit the 45th minute mark of this first half. Will be a minute of added time indicated. Wanless clears away on the Robinson free kick. Rivera battling forward with Pantaleo. Talsma with his now, and will clear ahead for Aguiming to chase, but that one well out of play. Portal. Sandu. Homensky throwing pressure. Wiles was lunging and had to clear it away. Shefketi. Andriola. Talsma. Possibly the last opportunity here for Roma at the end of the first half. Del Priore towards goal. And they felt that Del Priore had pushed the defender in the back, and he concedes the foul, and Vaughan will play out of the back. Begley. Portal. Sandu. Rose. Caught Shefketi on the turn, but steered him into Homensky. In towards Aguiming. Sliding across with Sandu, and an excellent challenge. Shortino had got the better of Andriola, but slipped. And that's going to do it for the first 45 minutes of this 7th versus 8th matchup, and two teams wanting all 3 points here tonight. But it's St. Catharines Roma on the back of Jared Aguming in the first half of that first half, scoring the lone goal as Roma leads 1-0 over Vaughan here at Rinaldi Field. We'll be back for second half action here on League One Live after the break.
Dear supporters, you know who you are and where you come from. Local, passionate, undeniably Canadian. You are the soul, heartbeat, substance, community. This is for you with gratitude. Made in Canada for all the world to see. Season 7 is here, so go forth, grow your ranks, and get stuck in.
The biggest moments in Canadian soccer stream on One Soccer. Men's and women's national teams, TELUS Canadian Championships, Canadian Premier League. The biggest stage, the fiercest battles. Plus, get pre- and post-match analysis and all the highlights anytime. Because wherever you go, One Soccer goes with you. One Soccer, the home of Canadian soccer. Start streaming at onesoccer.ca. For too long, we've been told that greatness comes from somewhere else. Sorry, that ends now. We are the Canadian Premier League, proudly built for you and by you across this sovereign land, ready to take on the beautiful game on our terms. We may be young, but give us time and underestimate us at your peril. We'll keep grinding until everyone knows exactly who we are. Rosters filled with homegrowns, Canadian kids who just needed a chance, with dreams as vast as our horizons, made right here in Canada, for all the world to see. Season 7 is here. We are the Canadian Premier League. Get stuck in.
Sorry now, I'm good.
Think back to when Canada was a soccer country without its own league, without a place to develop and showcase our own players, or a space where fans could sing their songs and hold their scarves high and show their true colors in their own hometowns. Getting the Canadian Premier League off the ground had to happen for Canada to co-host the 2026 World Cup. But the time was right for the sport and for the country. What's happened since is proof. 8 Canadian teams with passionate supporters playing the world's game and punching far above their weight. There have been a few bumps along the way, including a global pandemic on the eve of the second season. But while some larger sports organizations shut down entirely in the face of COVID, the CPL found a way to play on with the innovative Island Games. When the world got back to normal, CPL supporters returned to the stands, and wave upon wave of young Canadian players began to make their mark. Despite its short history and modest origins, the CPL was not to be underestimated. Consider some recent history. Last year, 2 CPL teams beat MLS teams. The huge disparity in payroll didn't matter when it came to what happened on the pitch. And then, in the first months of 2025, reigning CPL champs Cavalry FC made history, beating Pumas, one of the traditional Big Four in Mexico's Liga MX, in the CONCACAF Champions League. Those were remarkable team achievements that were mirrored on the player side, where CPL alumni have been steadily moving up the international ranks. There's Brampton's Kwesi Poku, who last season went from Forge FC to Belgium's RWD Molenbeek for a CPL record transfer fee, and soon after became the latest present or former CPL player to be capped with Canada's men's national team. And then there's brilliant young keeper Emil Gazdov, who joined Pacific FC as a 16-year-old and this year signed with CF Montreal of MLS and joined their first team. There will be more, many more, where they came from. Canadian talent nurtured right here at home. And now, Season 7 is set to kick off, with the World Cup a little more than a year away. It couldn't be more clear. This is our country. This is our game. And this is our league.
Dear supporters, you know who you are and where you come from. Local, passionate, undeniably Canadian. You are the soul, heartbeat, substance, community. This is for you with gratitude. Made in Canada for all the world to see. Season 7 is here, so go forth, grow your ranks, and get stuck in.
The biggest moments in Canadian soccer stream on One Soccer. Men's and women's national teams, TELUS Canadian Championships, Canadian Premier League.
It is absolute bedlam at the ground.
The biggest stage, the fiercest battles. Plus, get pre- and post-match analysis and all the highlights anytime. Because wherever you go, One Soccer goes with you. One Soccer, the home of Canadian soccer. Start streaming at onesoccer.ca. been told that greatness comes from somewhere else. Sorry, that ends now. We are the Canadian Premier League, proudly built for you and by you across this sovereign land, ready to take on the beautiful game on our terms. We may be young, but give us time and underestimate us at your peril. We'll keep grinding until everyone knows exactly who we are. Rosters filled with homegrowns, Canadian kids who just needed a chance, with dreams as vast as our horizons, made right here in Canada for all the world to see. Season 7 is here. We are the Canadian Premier League. Get stuck in.
Sorry that I'm good.
Think back to when Canada was a soccer country without its own league, without a place to develop and showcase our own players, or a space where fans could sing their songs and hold their scarves high and show their true colors in their own hometowns. Getting the Canadian Premier League off the ground had to happen for Canada to co-host the 2026 World Cup. But the time was right for the sport and for the country. What's happened since is proof. 8 Canadian teams with passionate supporters playing the world's game and punching far above their weight. There have been a few bumps along the way, including a global pandemic on the eve of the second season. But while some larger sports organizations shut down entirely in the face of COVID, the CPL found a way to play on with the innovative Island Games. When the world got back to normal, CPL supporters returned to the stands, and wave upon wave of young Canadian players began to make their mark. Despite its short history and modest origins, the CPL was not to be underestimated. Consider some recent history. Last year, 2 CPL teams beat MLS teams. The huge disparity in payroll didn't matter when it came to what happened on the pitch. And then, in the first months of 2025, reigning CPL champs Cavalry FC made history, beating Pumas, one of the traditional Big Four in Mexico's Liga MX, in the CONCACAF Champions League. Those were remarkable team achievements that were mirrored on the player side, where CPL alumni have been steadily moving up the international ranks. There's Brampton's Kwesi Poku, who last season went from Forge FC to Belgium's RWD Molenbeek for a CPL record transfer fee, and soon after became the latest present or former CPL player to be capped with Canada's men's national team. And then there's brilliant young keeper Emil Gazdov, who joined Pacific FC as a 16-year-old and this year signed with CF Montreal of MLS and joined their first team. There will be more, many more, where they came from. Canadian talent nurtured right here at home. And now, Season 7 is set to kick off, with the World Cup a little more than a year away. It couldn't be more clear. This is our country. This is our game. And this is our league.
So here we go for the second 45 minutes here at Rinaldi Field. 1-0, St. Catharines Roma leads over Vaughan and currently puts them in 5th position if the score were to say like this. No changes to report for either side at the halftime break. But Vaughan had been controlling near the end of that first half. It was a good pushback from Roma. near the end, and it ended pretty evenly. We'll see how the second half unfolds here on League One Match of the Week. My name is Noah Vogel. Thanks for tuning in from wherever you may be for what so far has been a back and forth exciting match. That ball forward from Begley gives Robinson a chase, and he's ushered away from the ball. And it will be a goal kick for Roma. I think a tale for both of these teams has been consistency in getting results in matches. When Roma was last here and on the League One Match of the Week when they took on Woodbridge in that 1-0 win. Since then, they had only taken 4 points from those games and conceded 10 goals in 3 matches. They haven't conceded yet so far and have looked quite strong defensively. Hametsky trying to create some ruckus up on this near side, but Longo now in possession. He'll find Portal. And one thing that Roma has struggled with is taking the lead early and allowing teams to fight back, especially in the second half. So could Vaughan have a chance here? And a goal from Campoli is stopped by Bernstengel. And of course, if you're unable to watch your favorite team live here on YouTube on League One TV, you can always follow them on the League One Live app. You can download for free on the Android and Apple App Store, where you can follow League One, League Two, Men's Premier, Men's Championship, as well as the women's divisions all throughout the season and keep track on your favorite sides. So don't forget to download the League One Live app on the Apple and Android App Store. As down just outside the 18-yard box. Looks to be Jared Agyemang, who was challenged and was able to win the free kick in a quite dangerous position now for Roma. Agyemang now receiving some treatment, and of course the goal scorer, the lone goal scorer in this match, when he netted his 5th of the season in the 27th minute in that first half. He'll have to step aside for now before being brought back onto the field, but it will be a free kick opportunity. And Diego Rivera, the lone Roma player to stand over it. 4 in the wall for Vaughan. Diego Rivera, the American, over the wall and just wide of that far left post. It was well struck by the Buffalo native, but was unable to find the target. Roma back to 11 with Agyemang re-entering the playing field. Now here's Pantaleo. Campoli, that was behind Portal, but he's in space to find Robinson. Robinson in behind for Campolo. A perfect ball played across. Czarnecki was there. And now it's in the feet of Agyemang. Longo cut it out, and a great track back by the Vaughan midfielder, and now it's in the feet of Spittle. Up forward for Robinson. He'll look to spray into the 18-yard box, and a drive from Pantaleo was blocked. Czarnecki to clear. Rose heads down, and Andriola will send it up towards half field. Hametsky could knock it down, took a slip, and will allow for Pantaleo to take charge as he plays in Campolo. And a foul is going to go Vaughan's way here, as Muskowski had gone down, and Vaughan plays quickly. Shortino away from, and scores as he beats Lucas Bernstengel, and Roma cannot believe that it was Vaughan's ball outside the 18-yard box. And quick feet and a beautiful finish from Marco Shortino has tied this game at 1. Campoli had gone down in a challenge with Miskolski. Mahbub Kulistani had given the free kick, which was taken quickly and very well done by Chris Campoli to find his teammate in Marco Shortino, and he got the better of Konrad Czarnecki and a thumping finish in the top half of the net. And Vaughan has tied this in the first 6 minutes of the second half. And now everyone on the edge of their seats here at Rinaldi Field. What felt like a game that Roma had a good hold over, as Vaughan really had no clear-cut chances other than that Rose opportunity in the first half. Well, now they've taken one, really out of nothing. And it's 1-1. Homensky dispossesses Rose towards the byline, looks to deliver, and the sliding challenge from Pantaleo concedes the corner. Homensky stands over this corner, the outswinging ball. The teenager delivers to the front post, got through everyone, spilling around. Czarnecki taken down, and nothing going Roma's way this time. And Wiles was able to collect on the second opportunity. Spittle. Miskolski clears out a play, and that got the crowd on their feet. Talsma wins it back for Roma. Rivera forward for Aguimen. You let it go through. And now here's Begley. Cut out by Talsma. Aguimen may be in here. Got the better of Begley. Wiles comes out. Aguimen went sliding. And it will be Roma throw. Homensky. Is shot into the hands of Wiles. And he'll slow things down here for Vaughan. Czarnecki, Shefketi, Andriola. Taken away by Robinson, but he had fouled Andriola. Here's Jeremy Talsma, urging his team forward, now with Diego Rivera. Talsma looking to get the better of Spittle, and he defended Talsma well that time. Longo. He'll look forward for Campoli to chase. It was headed down by Czarnecki. Elijah Wanless looking to spread wide for Homensky. Pantaleo won the aerial duel. Rose with a neat touch to get around Homensky that time, but Shefketi did well to intercept. Here's Del Priore. Now with Rivera. Rivera couldn't quite find his feet to find the delivery. But Roma finding some success out of the wing, attacking this Vaughan side. And Vaughan really hasn't been out of their end since scoring the tying goal. Marco Shortino on what Roma feels like a very controversial goal. But Vaughan able to tie things up away from home in a really big goal early in the second half. Here's Miskolski. Shefketi lost it momentarily, but able to find his feet. Spreads wide for Talsma. Jeremy Talsma in pursuit. Wide for Rivera. First time ball into the area. Came off deflection and into the hands of Lyles. Bigley will slow things down as he walks forward. Here's Pantaleo. Rose. Able to split the defenders, and now on the inside of Del Priore. Ball in behind. Wallace misplayed it. Robinson trying to go around the keeper. Excellent feed from Robinson. A last-ditch challenge from Conrad Czarnecki has kept that one out of the net. It seemed sure like Ryan Robinson was going to give Vaughan the lead. He'd gone past one, gone past two, and Conrad Czarnecki with the last-ditch toe able to clear it away. What an effort from the center half. Begley directs it towards goal. Andriola clears. Rivera will give chase. Spittle first back, and he'll play back for Wiles. What an exciting start to the second half it's been. And it's been all Vaughan so far with the goal and a close-cut scoring chance. Czarnecki away once more. Longo. Looking wide for the feet of Kim Poli, and he will try and backheel around Talsma, but it went out of play. And Talsma will play into the feet of Rivera. He's got Aguimang with him in the box. Rivera able to find his footing inside the 18-yard area. And well defended by Begley as Rivera got by the first defender, but not the second, but is able to win the corner kick. Roma's hoping that play from Czarnecki will spark a fire after conceding the tying goal in this match. Andriola, the in-swinger, cleared away by Robinson. Talsma from the halfway line. Had lost him momentarily, but is able to find Andriola. High looping ball towards the back post. Cleared by Pantaleo. Rose will help it on, and Czarnecki has to be careful here with Robinson on his back. And he clears it away. Rose went into the back of Miskolski that time, who had gone down in a heap of flames. And it will be a Roma free kick. Miskolski was quick down. And he had been dealing with an injury before Roma had faced off against North Toronto. And he was in and out of training all that week and was able to play all 90 minutes in that game. And again, starting here today. And it looked just the aerial battle. He was hit hard and near the head area, but he's back onto his feet. And Mabuguli Stanley will allow him to continue on the field as he'll trot forward and add to the number of Roma players outside the 18-yard box. Sefketi, his delivery headed towards goal, and just wide from Conrad Czarnecki. He's been all over the place in the second half so far. That's his second chance in front of goal, just unable to keep it in between the posts that time. Longo will start out of the back here for Vaughan. Wiles. Pantaleo. Longo tried to let it run. It was read perfectly by Andriola. Couldn't play in Aguimang. It was well defended by Begley, but now in the feet of Rivera. Diego Rivera. His cross was blocked, and Spittle now can clear. Talsma stepping in. Jeremy Talsma will have a go, and that one well wide. But again, the pressure for Roma has kept Vaughan in their own third for a majority since conceding the second goal of this match. Adamo Pantaleo looking over the top to the feet now of Campoli. The goal scorer, Shortino. Spittle into the area, had a go, and it was wide of the post. And now Vaughan's getting ready to make a double substitution here. And getting ready to enter the match, Caden Dugas as well as Adriano Ianello. All played it behind Begley, coming across to take it away from Del Priore. He'll play it out. So it seems like it's been indicated that Ryan Robinson will be one of the players to depart for Vaughan. Homensky on the left, curling, and was always too wide that time. And now the substitution will be made. So Adriano Ianello, who has only played 2 minutes of League One Premier play this season, has been majority in League Two, where he scored 3 goals in 6 matches this season, will get set to come in. They'll pause that substitution for now. Homensky with a touch forward. Portal got in between him and took it back for Vaughan. And Caden Dugas, who had just made the move recently from his side to now play with Vaughan. He's played in 2 matches, will make his 3rd appearance here today. Shefketi with a good turn in the middle, but Campoli got back and took it away from him. Portal now moving in toward the 18, inside for Rose. Came back out for Campoli. Talsma able to win the challenge, and Wanless will clear. Talsma now in possession. Plays into the feet of Rivera. Diego Rivera. Still Rivera. Block comes in from Begley, and it cleared out, but stayed in for Nick Spittle. Intercepted by Andriola. Talsma finds Shefketi. Czarnecki. Now for Miskolski. Shefketi pressured by Portal as he commits the foul. And now after the wait, that substitution will be made, so Ianello will come in for the well-experienced Ryan Robinson and the goal scorer. And Marco Shortino will be the other to depart. So also a change in formation as Dugas as well as Ianello will move into a midfield position. Portal will go into a more upwards position in the attack with Campoli leading the line. Here is Wanless, now with Czarnecki. Miskolski to the feet of Homensky. Inside for Del Priore. Shevketi over the top for Aguimen. Tried to catch the back line off guard. It was just too close to Wiles that time as he comes out and collects. Spittle lost it out of bounds. It will be a Roma throw. And Rivera had gone down, and it will be a foul. And a free kick for St. Catharines. A foul on Daniel Longo, the Woodbridge, Ontario native. He has started all 10 games, now 11 that he's been appeared in. He started with League Two at the start of the season, but has been a regular name and a very big part of this Vaughan side. He scored one goal against Scrosopi earlier in the season. He could use another one here to try and give Vaughan the lead. But it's still in possession with Roma. Here's Wanless. Talsma trying to come back on Rose. He went down, and it's going to be a Roma free kick. As Raheem Rose commits the foul after taking the armband with the exit of Ryan Robinson. So it'll be Gianluca Del Priore who will have say on this free kick. Swings it towards the central area. Czarnecki couldn't quite get a reach on it. He had fully stretched out and looks to be in some pain after he had gone down, but he makes his way back. Urging forward is Talsma. Came off deflection, Longo. It's cleared away by Vaughan. Shevketi back into the edge of the 18. Del Priore can't bring down. Dugas heads forward. Ianello back for Pantaleo, and now Miskolski will play to the path of Homensky. Neatly forward for Del Priore. Andriola. Shevketi finds Homensky. Del Priore in a pocket of space here now. He'll stop. Back onto his left foot and allow Shevketi to deliver. Deflected off the edge of the 18. Rose takes it away from Talsma. And now we'll come to the near side for Portal. And a chance on the counterattack here for Vaughan. But Roma quickly back. We'll stop that from happening. Longo. Campoli. Shevketi wins it back. Adelia Shevketi. Spreads to the far side for Rivera. Just Aguimen with him. Diego Rivera outside the boot. Curling ball looking for Aguimen. And it was too high for him. Expect a possible change in personnel coming shortly for Roma as players continue to warm up on the end line. Dugas. Now with Sandu. Rose. Head to Leo. Back for Begley. Spread now for Longo, and he's found some space, and he's nicked himself by Andriola. Played in by Campoli. Rose turns back for Spittle. Dugas. Portal. Andriola cut it out. Shevketi away. Portal still. Now with Ianello. Ianello drove into the hands of Bernstengel. And he makes a comfortable save and slows things down here for Roma. Long forward ball by Bernstengel. Rivera battling there with Spittle. Rivera from behind concedes the foul. Vaughan will play out of the back now. Here's Begley. Longo. Spittle. Vaughan happy to control their own third here now. It was a lot of Roma possession in this area of the pitch until these last 10 minutes. Vaughan has really controlled himself and kept composed in their own end. Andriola brought down by Del Priore. Czarnecki. Wanless plays forward and all the way to Sendu, who plays it high up for Campoli to chase. Czarnecki got his head to it first. Longo went over Talsma, but he couldn't keep it in play. And now a substitution is going to be made, and it will be a double switch for Roma as well. And a yellow is going to be showed to Daniel Longo. First yellow of the match is going to be heading towards Vaughan's midfielder, Daniel Longo, who had went over the top of Jeremy Talsma on the play prior and had some opinions towards Mabu Gulistani. And now we'll get that stoppage for the double substitution. And entering the match will be Michael Solomon, as well as Demola Akani. Still some conversations before the substitutions are actually made. There may be a pause and before that occurs. And so we'll continue on before the changes are made. The changes will be made. Vaughan is also going to make a substitution shortly. Cheyenne Sultan Zadeh will be the one to enter as he makes his third ever appearance in League One Premier play this season. Talsma with a sliding challenge to clear that one away. Czarnecki diving header comes as far as Campoli. Chris Campoli in behind for Rose. Rose now with a chance to deliver. Back onto his left foot towards the back post, headed down and wide of the goal. And now those substitutions will be made, but what a chance for the substitute in Ianello, who just couldn't keep that one on target. So the goal scorers are both off now as Jared Aguiamang will make way for Michael Solomon. And Diego Rivera, who's had flashes of brilliance in this game so far, will also depart. And Demola Kenny, the Surrey BC native, will be the one to enter. Making his ninth appearance of the season, Izakani scored once so far. He featured against North Toronto, but did not dress against Sigma FC, but now he's back into the lineup. And he's back up front to partner with Michael Solomon, who has been incredible as of late. He scored in back-to-back starts and has scored 4 goals in his last 2 matches, as he scored twice against North Toronto and against Sigma in those last 2 games. All 5 of his goals coming in his last 4 matches, and they would love to see him get a winner here as he did in the last match of the week against Woodbridge. Here's Campoli. Offside flag is up. And was just too far behind the defensive line before getting that shot off. So Vaughan still waiting to make that substitution as well, which will most likely come at the next stoppage for the away side. Bernstein plays forward. Solomon always the target. Flicks towards Ikani. And cleared away by Begley. And out for a throw. Still not ready on the technical area for that substitution. It'll allow for Vaughan to get ready. Another substitution. Gianni Agaran will be the one to also make an appearance here this evening. Has played 85 minutes of League One play when he started in the loss against Sigma FC on June 22nd, and will now make his first appearance off the bench here tonight. All forward, Wanless clears away. Into the feet of Del Priore, got a shove from Dugas, and wins the free kick. And now those substitutions will happen. So Angaran will be the one to enter, as well as Sultan Zadeh to come into the match. Alejandro Portel will be the one to exit. And Angarang will enter. And Sultan Zadeh will have to wait just for a moment here. As they wait for Rose to exit the match. So Sultan Zadeh now into the match. Finally, after waiting on the touchline for an extra amount of time. And now Wanless will throw in this free kick towards the back post. Czarnecki towards goal, and too high once again. His third opportunity in front of goal. And just cannot keep it down and under the bar. He's had an exciting second half, both offensively and defensively, so far in this match. Muskowski got up, cleared away. Ionelli, one less. And on the turn, Andriola was held back. And the foul will go Roma's way. Here's Wanless. Wanless for Talsma. Jeremy Talsma cutting inside. He'll look towards the back post. Ronaldo Homensky the target. And was just two ahead of him. And now another substitution being made as Mason Petrucci will enter the game. And that will be the last. The last thing that Ronaldo Homensky does, chasing after that ball as he exits now for Mason Petrucci. The local boy, St. Catharines native. He hadn't started since May 23rd against Sigma, and now makes his 11th appearance of the season. And is back on the field. He'll go to the left side. Talsman out to the right for Roma. Petrucci, 2 goals this season off the bench. Can he make some magic late here as we enter the final 10 minutes of the 90? Talsma goes down, but the foul was called first. And Vaughan wanted to play the advantage, but Mabu Gulistani pulling that one back. It'll be Chris Campoli to stand over. Towards the near post, Andriola Couldn't quite clear on the first. Akani will clear on the second to find Del Priore, but he's dispossessed here by Dugas. Played into the path of Campoli. And out for a corner kick as Muskolski couldn't quite handle it on the end line. And now Campoli will put in a corner here for Vaughan, their first of the second half. Bodies pile around Lucas Bernsingle, and he goes down. Play whistle down and will delay the corner coming in. 4 or 5 Vaughan players just hanging around that 6-yard box. Now the corner comes to the near post, but never made it in play. And an opportunity not taken by Vaughan. Petrucci. Now with one less. Czarnecki. And Triola. Wanless, Petrucci. Ball into the area, nobody there for Roma, but it's cleared away nonetheless by Begley, and Roma will take the throw. Czarnecki. Away from pressure to find Andriola. Couldn't quite get the touch. Neither could Czarnecki, and Campoli is on the inside of Gianluca Del Priore. Chris Campoli can't get it into the area. Sliding challenge from Shefchetti, and he comes away here, but loses out. Ianelli goes down, and a whistle blown, and it was just outside the 18-yard area, and it will just be a free kick for Vaughan. But a dangerous challenge coming in from Idelia Shefchetti. Almost conceded a penalty there. But now Roma will have to defend a free kick from a dangerous area. Ianelli as well as Campoli, the one standing over it. Bodies again bearing down in that 6-yard box. Begley, most likely the target, nearing in on Bergstingle. Ianelli went low, cleared away by Akani, who had gone down as Dugas went through the back of him trying to attack that ball. Ianelli had the idea to go underneath the wall that time and go alone, but couldn't quite convert how he would have hoped. And now Bergstingle will move Roma up pitch. Headed down by Begley. Andriola throws in a challenge, and he's going to be booked. The first Roma player to head into the book here tonight as he picks up the yellow. Vaughan playing that one too quickly. 6 minutes remaining in the 90. St. Catharines 1, Vaughan 1. After Marco Shortino had tied things up early on in the second half. And Roma is going to make a substitution now. So just as Andriola had picked up the yellow card, he's going to come out for Michael Fernandez, who has appeared in every game so far this season, and that continues again here tonight as he'll come in for the final minutes of this match to try and create something for Roma to take all 3 points. Here's Pantaleo. Block comes in from Fernandez. Akani spreads wide for Petrucci. Looking forward for Solomon to make the run, and they weren't on the same page that time. Begley. Pantaleo. Campoli back for Dugas. And now with Campoli. Sultan Zadeh. Dugas, triple team there And Fernandez able to take it away into the path of Petrucci. Now forward for Kenny. Damola Kenny. Still a Kenny. Bobbled into the hands of Wiles, but a good look from Damola Kenny. Just couldn't quite find the corner he would have wanted. Campoli. Dugas. Pressured by Del Priore. Battle one in the middle there by Fernandez, and Kenny now with space to charge into. He'll slow down and find Fernandez. Petrucci comes back to collect. In swinging ball from the left foot. Cleared away, but kept in by Spittle. And he couldn't keep it in play as that ball came down the line. And it will be a Roma throw. The only other attacking option for Roma is Antonio Agofsky, who hasn't been introduced in a match since he started against Simcoe County on June 27th. But he is an option for Roma if they're looking to go for all 3 points. A lot of attacking substitutions made for Vaughan. They are looking for that third and hopefully final goal in this game. Longo. Solomon had almost read that ball, played back. It just had enough to get to Wiles. Tausma will clear forward. Begley back into an area. Sultan Zadeh plays into the feet of Ionelli. And it was challenge won by Wanless, who had fallen over on the ball that time. Here's Spittle. Pantaleo cutting onto his right. Block made by Miskolski. Fernandez sliding in. Spittle will have a go, and it came off the foot of Miskolski in a corner for Vaughan. Chris Campoli will take this one towards the near post. Bergstingle had got a piece of it, was able to bobble around and corral it now. And he'll slow things down and allow for Roma to prepare for this ball forward. Towards Solomon. Begley got up to win another aerial battle. Angaran. Playing towards the feet of Ianello, who guides it down for Campoli. Campoli around Shefketi. Towards Bergshingle, and well collected by the Roma number 1. Final minute now of the 90. Is there a moment in this game where a team can take all 3 points and move themselves into 5th place? If it were to end like this, Vaughan would move up a spot and St. Catharines would move just in behind them. But Oakville, who are also tied on 19 points, will have a game in hand as they would sit in 8th. Longo. Here's Spittle. Ianello lost it, and Wanless is able to win the throw. Didn't have any option to go quick, so he'll slow things down. And now throw down the line for Solomon, who tried to flick forward. Now Dugas. Pantaleo. Vaughan will go all the way back for Wiles. And now we're inside the 90. And there'll be 5 added minutes. Lots of time for someone to find a winner here. Either team's probing as we're into extra time. And Garan, he's given that one away as the ball was misplayed looking for Spittle. Kenny will play quickly into the feet of Solomon. Solomon trying to skip his way past the defender. And it's going to be a free kick going Vaughan's way. And Del Priore is down. And I think he may be cramping up near the middle of the field. That may force Roma to make a substitution here. Looks like he'll be okay to continue as he's back onto his feet. Free kick for Vaughan. Spittle plays forward, cleared by Czarnecki. Back in by Longo. Egli towards Ionelli. Longo with a full stride forward. Block in from Petrucci. Angaran. Pantaleo into the area, cleared by Miskolski. And Del Priore will help it along. Here's Begley. Pantaleo. Delivery to the back post. Ionelli. Pardon me, Ianello was the intended target, but it was too far in front of him. And we've played 2 minutes of extra time with 3 still to play. Been back and forth with chance after chance for both teams for a majority of the second half, but it has calmed down a little since the substitutions being made for both teams. Trying to figure out how either can take all 3 points here. Away by Sandu, put back in by Petrucci. Begley clears, and now Ianello. Czarnecki intercepts and finds Fernandez. He's dispossessed. Longo plays forward, and Czarnecki will clear away from danger. Another substitution is going to be made as Antonio Agoschi will enter the match. And he'll come in for Del Priore, who had seemed to have been dealing with cramps in his legs and now will exit. And Antonio Agoschi, who has been out of the lineup for the last 2 matches, the Oakville native, will have a chance to maybe make a difference in this match with minimal time remaining. Still 2 added minutes to be played as that one runs out. Away from Chris Campoli, and it will be a goal kick for Roma. Fernandez goes up. Begley with another aerial dual win. Forward for Solomon. Flag stays down for now. Solomon wins the throw. Into the path of Kenny. Debola Kenny couldn't keep it in. And now Vaughan will try and find themselves forward here. Wiles to take the goal kick. Towards Fernandez, who wins. That time, Talisman throws in a challenge, but he's late. And Miskolski will clear. Time dwindling down here. Pantaleo. Sultan Zadeh. Dugas. Tried to find Campoli. Back with Pantaleo. Trying to take on Chef Kenny. Ball to the near post. Not cleared well by Miskolski. Dugas twisting around inside the penalty area. taken away by Tausma, and he'll hoof upfield. And Solomon will come back to win. Akani controls. Forward for Agofsky. Agofsky dragged back, but he's able to find Wadless. Slide tackle coming in from Ianello. Towards the corner for Akani. Solomon locating inside the box. Debola Akani cuts back. Petrucci. And Ianello came back. And that's going to be the final whistle, as both teams will share a point. They'll each move up a spot, but it'll give Oakville a chance to overtake both of them after all of them being tied on 19 points. It was Jared Aguiming to open the scoring early on in the first half. And with a response from Marco Shortino and a goal that Roma, looking back, will feel like maybe not should have counted. But nonetheless, St. Catharines won, Vaughan won. Thanks for tuning in here on League One TV for this edition of the League One Men's Premier Match of the Week. My name is Noah Vogel. Have a very good night.
Dear supporters, you know who you are and where you come from. Local, passionate, undeniably Canadian. You are the soul, heartbeat, substance, community. This is for you with gratitude, made in Canada for all the world to see. Season 7 is here, so go forth, grow your ranks, and get stuck in.
The biggest moments in Canadian soccer stream on One Soccer. Men's and women's national teams, TELUS Canadian Championships, Canadian Premier League.
It is absolute bedlam at the ground.
The biggest stage, the fiercest battles. Plus, get pre- and post-match analysis and all the highlights anytime. Because wherever you go, One Soccer goes with you. One Soccer, the home of Canadian soccer. Start streaming at onesoccer.ca. For too long, we've been told that greatness comes from somewhere else. Sorry, that ends now. We are the Canadian Premier League, proudly built for you and by you across this sovereign land, ready to take on the beautiful game on our terms.